The Seeker's Lamp Podcast. Season 1 Episode 3. Be careful what you seek. Seeking is a natural human tendency. We seek for knowledge, happiness, love, and many other things. But seeking can also be dangerous if we are not careful about what we seek and how we seek it. Seeking after the wrong things can lead us to disappointment, frustration, addiction, or even harm ourselves or others. For example, seeking for fame can make us lose our privacy and integrity. Seeking for wealth can make us greedy and dishonest. Seeking for pleasure can make us addicted and unhealthy. Seeking for power can make us corrupt and violent. These are some of the examples of how seeking after the wrong things can be dangerous and even fatal. Therefore, we should be careful of what we seek and how we seek it. We should seek for things that are good, true, and beneficial for ourselves and others. We should seek for things that are in harmony with our values and goals. We should seek for things that are within our reach and not beyond our limits. We should seek for things that make us grow and not decay. By doing so, we can avoid the dangers of seeking and enjoy the rewards of seeking. Seeking is an action. Each action has an equal and opposite reactions, with their own causes and effects. Cause and effect is a relationship between two or more things, where one thing makes another thing happen. For example, if you eat too much candy, you might get a stomach ache. Eating too much candy is the cause, and getting a stomach ache is the effect. Cause and effect can also be used to explain why something happened or what will happen in the future. For example, if you study hard for a test, you will get a good grade. Studying hard is the cause, and getting a good grade is the effect. A very good example of cause and effects is the concept of karma. Karma is a popular word used today. Sadly, many people do not know anything about where the idea comes from. They think I know what karma is. It is, what comes around goes around. Some even use that as an excuse to seek revenge, not realizing they are only creating more damage for themselves and more causes and effects. So, what exactly is karma? Karma is a Sanskrit word meaning action. It refers to a cycle of cause and effect that is an important concept in many Eastern religions, particularly Hinduism and Buddhism. In its essence, karma refers to both the actions and the consequences of the actions. Importantly, karma is not set in stone, is not out of our control, and is not indirect. According to the law of karma, every action we perform has a corresponding result, either in this life or in a future one. The result can be positive or negative, depending on the nature and intention of the action. For example, if we help someone in need, we create positive karma that will bring us happiness and peace. If we harm someone or lie to them, we create negative karma that will bring us suffering and trouble. The law of karma also implies that we are responsible for our own destiny. We cannot blame others or external factors for our problems or failures. We have the power to change our karma by changing our actions and attitudes. We can also purify our karma by repenting for our past mistakes and performing good deeds. Karma in different belief systems. Although karma is a common concept in many Eastern religions, it is not the same in each one. Here are some differences and similarities among them. Hinduism. Karma is one of the main concepts in Hinduism, along with dharma, duty, samsara, rebirth, and moksha, liberation. Karma is seen as a cosmic law that governs the cycle of samsara, which is the endless cycle of birth, death, and rebirth that all living beings undergo. The type of life one gets in each rebirth depends on one's accumulated karma from previous lives. The goal of Hinduism is to achieve moksha, which is the liberation from samsara and karma. This can be done by following one's dharma, duty, according to one's caste and stage of life, by performing rituals and sacrifices, by practicing yoga and meditation, or by devotion to a personal god. An example of karma in Hinduism is the story of King Dasaratha, who accidentally killed a young boy while hunting. As a result, he had to suffer the loss of his beloved son Rama, who was exiled for 14 years due to a promise he made to his wife Kaikeyi. Buddhism. Karma is also a central concept in Buddhism, along with dukkha, suffering, anatta, no self, and nirvana, enlightenment. Karma is seen as a natural law that operates on the principle of dependent origination, which means that everything arises and ceases due to causes and conditions. Karma is not a moral judgment or a reward/punishment system, but rather a natural consequence of one's intentional actions. The goal of Buddhism is to achieve nirvana, which is the cessation of suffering and the end of the cycle of rebirth. This can be done by following the Noble Eightfold Path, which consists of right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. An example of karma in Buddhism is the story of Angulimala, a serial killer who was converted by the Buddha and became an arhat, a liberated being. Despite his change of heart, he still had to face the karmic consequences of his past deeds when he was stoned by angry villagers. Jainism. Karma is also a key concept in Jainism, along with ahimsa, nonviolence, anekantavada, many-sidedness, and moksha, liberation. Karma is seen as a subtle matter that binds to the soul due to one's actions. Karma can be good or bad, but both types are considered as obstacles to spiritual progress. The goal of Jainism is to achieve moksha, which is the liberation from karma and the cycle of rebirth. This can be done by practicing ahimsa, nonviolence, towards all living beings, by observing the 5 vows of nonviolence, truthfulness, non-stealing, celibacy, and non-attachment. An example of karma in Jainism is the story of Mahavira, the founder of Jainism, who attained moksha after 12 years of rigorous asceticism and detachment from worldly pleasures. He also endured many hardships and persecutions due to his past karma. Sikhism. Karma is also a relevant concept in Sikhism, although it is not as prominent as in other religions. Karma is seen as a law of nature that affects the cycle of birth and death. The goal of Sikhism is to achieve liberation from this cycle by merging with God, Waheguru. This can be done by following the teachings of the Guru Granth Sahib, the holy scripture of Sikhism, which emphasizes the importance of faith, devotion, service, and ethical conduct. An example of karma in Sikhism is the story of Guru Nanak, the founder of Sikhism, who was born with a divine light in his forehead as a result of his good karma from previous lives. He also performed many miracles and spread the message of God's love and unity to people of different faiths. He taught that one can overcome the effects of karma by living according to God's will and remembering God's name. What we seek is what we find. This is a simple but profound truth that can shape our lives. Our thoughts are powerful and can influence our reality. If we think positively and look for the good in every situation, we will attract more goodness and happiness into our lives. If we think negatively and focus on the problems and challenges, we will attract more difficulties and suffering. Our thoughts lead to actions and reactions, which can have different causes and effects. Every action has a consequence, and every consequence has a feedback loop that reinforces our thoughts. Therefore, it is important to be mindful of what we seek and what we find, because they are interconnected and interdependent. We can choose to seek and find the best in ourselves and others, or we can choose to seek and find the worst. The choice is ours, and so is the outcome. In conclusion, seeking is a double-edged sword. It can bring us joy or sorrow, depending on what we seek and how we seek it. We should be mindful of our seeking tendencies and choose wisely what we seek. We should also be aware of the consequences of our seeking actions and be responsible for them. Seeking is a powerful force that can shape our lives, but we have the power to control it and use it for good. I hope you find your heart's desires and so much more. May we all be careful with what we seek.